Now, ever since about Season 4, we have been hearing that Fortnite is dying, Fortnite is dead, and well, it's still here. And I don't think it's going to go anywhere anytime soon. This game is still doing phenomenally well. Maybe not as well as it once was. In fact, it's actually at its lowest point ever. But the game is still doing really well in the grand scheme of things. Welcome to the Fortnite Hub. Hopefully you guys are going to enjoy this video today. If you do, be sure to drop a like on the video. Also subscribe and notifications on. We're a brand new channel, so every like, every subscription really does help this thing grow. And now, as I mentioned at the start, people always say that Fortnite is dead, yet everyone still seems to be playing it. It's not quite at the level of popularity that it once was. It usually sort of lingers around the sort of 3rd to 5th place on Twitch in terms of viewership, but overall the game is still doing really well. In 2019, it raked in over $1.8 billion, which although is a 25% drop in revenue, that is still a lot of money. And also take a look at the Google Trends page, which is a good indicator of how much interest is in something. So obviously it goes off Google searches, and this shows that the game is not getting the Google searches that it once was. In fact, it's actually about the same point as it was during Season X, which, as you guys know, was definitely a low point in the game with the whole Brute situation. There was so much stuff going on in the game that it turned a lot of people away, and it has been hard to get those people back. In fact, right now it's actually at the same point that it was in Season 2, about a month or so before Ninja played with Drake, when the game really started to pick up traction. But surprisingly, the Ninja and Drake thing isn't actually the most popular point of the game anymore. In fact, it was the black hole that went on in between the start of Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 that brought the most attention ever to Fortnite. And although that has dropped off considerably, the game is still doing really well, considering it's actually at its lowest point in a long time, and especially since Season X. The game has only dropped 25% in revenue, so although a lot of people aren't playing it anymore, a lot of those people were generally people that weren't spending money in the game, and probably were just the casual people that sort of jumped on the bandwagon a little bit. When it comes to actual players that love the game, it's clear to see that a lot of them are still here. And personally, I don't think they're going to go anywhere anytime soon. This game has been going for over 2 years now, and the game is still beloved by many. And there's a reason why everyone is still playing it. There's nothing else out there like it. And Fortnite knows this. They know that they've got people by the short and curlies, essentially, just to put it in a sort of finer term. And they know that people aren't going to be leaving this game anytime soon, because nothing sort of matches up to it. Like, a new Call of Duty comes out, but yeah, Call of Duty is a shooter. We all know what Call of Duty is. It's kind of the same game all the time. There's Escape from Tarkov, which is doing very well, but I can see that one dying out pretty quick as well. There's very few games out there which seem to match up in the level of long-term popularity that Fortnite does. Obviously, Minecraft, League of Legends, CSGO, maybe even Overwatch, obviously can reign popular for many, many years and have done. But in terms of sort of newer games, there's not a great deal out there which is competing with Fortnite right now, and I don't think anything will anytime soon. But that doesn't mean that Epic are resting on their laurels. They've got so much stuff in the works. They are constantly working on this game, as you guys know. Now, recently they released a blog post which actually indicated they're going to be changing game engine for Fortnite, which I think is like the first time this has potentially ever happened. I don't think a game has ever changed engine during the middle of the launch. Like, the game is already out. Fair enough, engines have changed in development, or when sequels came out they've used a different engine, but this game is actually released and playable right now, and they are changing the engine in an update, which is absolutely huge. Now, in my opinion, this new engine is either going to breathe new life into Fortnite, or it is going to really start to kill it off. They released a blog post saying, beginning with the release of the 11.50 update in early February, Fortnite will be moving to Unreal Engine's Chaos Physics system. At launch, the goal is to ensure that Fortnite still feels like Fortnite. Along the way, there will be some bumps, so we're starting tests with a small group of players. We'll also closely monitor feedback and make improvements over time. Now, the Chaos engine is a really great engine. You may have seen it in various games already. If you've played games like Gears of War, you generally know what the engine's like, where the destruction of buildings can happen in real time, and depending on the level of impact depends on how the building is destroyed. So this could really change things up, especially the whole box meta and trying to take people's walls and it being very ping dependent. It might be possible that from the 11.50 update, you might be able to shoot or pickaxe small holes into the build and then be able to shoot the player inside rather than having to break and try and take the wall from the player. You might be able to just sort of break a little piece apart and then sort of be able to shoot through it, which could really change up the meta of Fortnite for sure. This could definitely completely change the way that we play Fortnite. And this is not necessarily a bad thing. I think the whole current meta of box fighting, I think that turns a lot of casual people off. A lot of people aren't skilled enough to really go through this whole box fight meta. They're not really good at it. They're not good at taking walls. They're not great at editing. Like I myself, I'm not the best editor in the world. I'm not very good at it, especially on controller. And I think if you go up against someone who's good at doing it, I think it really does put you at a disadvantage and probably makes the game not very fun. So I can see them taking away this whole wall taker meta and making it so anyone can pickaxe a little bit of the wall away, break it apart a bit, and then obviously shoot the person inside it. I think that definitely could be a good thing that could bring people back. Whether it actually works or remains to be seen, but this is definitely something which I think could have a positive impact on Fortnite, especially for the casual player base, which, let's face it, is the market that Epic should be focusing on. Now, also in the blog post, it said, with the addition of the 11.50 update, Chapter 2 Season 2 is now expected to launch Thursday, February 20th. Chapter 2 Season 2 will feature blank with multiple blanks. We can't brief you on all of the next season's secrets just yet. Before the season ends, we'll have additional overtime challenges and a new 2-week event. Stay tuned for more details. So Epic have said that there is going to be some new stuff coming in Fortnite Chapter 2 Season 2, which we expect is going to be the case, but they won't let us know what yet. We've also got some more challenges to do and the new 2-week event, which is potentially going to be part of the new Harley Quinn movie, which could be awesome. We could finally get a Harley Quinn skin in the game. A lot of people wondered why Harley Quinn never came when Batman's skin came out, and maybe this was why. Maybe they were holding off for this movie coming out. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. That could be super awesome. The movie lands, I think, like February 7th, so I'd kind of expect this skin to maybe come out around the same time if it is going to be the case. So yeah, this could be really awesome. Now, another thing to note is that Fortnite doesn't necessarily have to stay as a battle royale game. We have talked about in a previous video where the Epic CEO Tim Sweeney said that in 12 months he sees Fortnite as being more than just a game and more like a platform, and a lot of stuff is indicating that. Now, when you say Fortnite, a lot of people think of the battle royale version of the game, but as you guys know, Fortnite Battle Royale was not the original version of Fortnite. The original version was Fortnite Save the World, and the battle royale version got tacked on a couple of months later after Save the World didn't do as good as expected, and it kind of was like a chance thing that really paid off. And I think if Epic really wanted to, they could take Fortnite in any direction they wanted to, and they could go in an MMO, a MOBA, a survival game like Rust, Code and Exiles, anything like that. They could really turn this thing into anything they want to. Now, in a recent video, I did play a clip of Cypher PK from a recent video of his where he detailed just that. We're going to go over a few points of it now. We're going to sort of see what he has to say, and a lot of it does make sense. So yeah, check this one out.
Fortnite is honestly too big to truly fail. Like, it's not gonna die. Like, I can see Fortnite being in the top 5 games. Okay, Fortnite like truly starts dying, right? And then they're like, all right guys, we're releasing Fortnite survival mode, and it's like Rust, but it's Fortnite. So it's like a world that you get in, and you know, you start, you know, building bases and whatnot, and it's not like a battle royale. Like Fortnite, Epic, they're so successful right now, they could literally do anything. They could literally do anything. Like they could develop a Fortnite MMO, right? And get that going. They could they could create another map if they want. Like they could do, like, the thing is, like, there's so many things that Epic can do at this point because they're so flexible and willing to like experiment with whatever, which is how even Fortnite began. Is they like were like, oh, you know, our Save the World game that we made isn't doing, you know, the greatest. Let's make it a battle royale, and they did. So like if for some reason Fortnite's ever like struggling, bro, they can just throw in whatever idea they got cooked up.
So as you heard, he thinks exactly the same thing. It could turn into an MMO, it could turn into a MOBA, survival game. Epic literally can make this thing into anything that they want. It's got such a rich lore, it's got a vast variety of characters, it's got so much stuff they could work with and pretty much turn this into whatever they feel like if the time comes and they really need to start to rethink things. But I think the direction they're actually going with is the creative mode. I think they are trying to turn Fortnite into a platform where you can basically do whatever you want, much like Minecraft. Now, Minecraft is a game where you can literally do anything. People have programmed emulators in it. You can literally just do whatever you want. You can play the game however you want it to be played. And I think Epic are wanting Fortnite to be just the same. The creative mode has created so many amazing stuff, from LTMs, different game modes, like you've got prop hunt, people been making their own LTMs like search and destroy, which is rumored to actually be coming out soon. And Epic have even taken some of these and released them as full modes. And we had I think in like season 9 or something, I think we got a like a D-Day landing kind of LTM, which was super fun. We've also had various other ones. We had like a downtown jam, I think it was, where you basically raced through the streets of San Francisco collecting items and that. And it shows that you can literally make Fortnite into whatever you want it to. Death runs are really popular as well. They've been really popular for a long time. And this is all within the world of Fortnite. And I think that's the direction Epic want to go. They want us to be able to just take Fortnite and make it whatever we want it to be. And I think that is going to continue the longevity of the game. Because as players are free to do what they want, I think people are going to get creative and come up with some amazing stuff. And it's even showed recently in the Battle Royale aspect of the game. Now, obviously, since the FNCS and Winter Royale, there's been no tournament announcements yet for competitive. There's been no announcement of the next World Cup or anything like that. And I think we're going to start to see a lot of that in Season 2. And I think the reason they've held off so far is because they're so busy with the Chaos engine that they obviously don't want to sort of announce new tournaments and new metas and stuff like that just yet. They want to wait for the new engine to come out. Then they'll announce the next set of tournaments, whether it will be the World Cup, whether it will be something else, that remains to be seen. But in the meantime, people have been finding things to do. People have been creating their own modes, and people have been sort of doing their own thing to sort of keep themselves occupied. And it really does show what you can do with this game. The fact that people are so creative when it comes to Fortnite. Recently, the fashion contests have become a big thing in the game. A lot of big streamers and YouTubers are holding fashion contests where people try and come up with the best sort of outfit combinations and the best sort of like dances and best routines. And there's been some really awesome ones. Check out some footage here of a recent one that McCreamy did, which was super cool.
Out.
Yeah. What kind of Gucci Louis Vuitton collab is that? Yeah, we'll let him through.
Okay,
no.
Chicken Man.
No.
Chicken Man, you just gotta go. Like, looking kind of bougie. I'm not gonna lie. We'll let it through.
Yeah.
Ooh.
No backbling though. See, that's an automatic no. You have to have a backbling. To the house.
Into the house. What's up? What do we got in here?
And he's
The
doing
moon! The moon!
Oh!
That's clean!
Oh, it's a meteor!
The meteor! Oh, the meteor takes out the dinosaur. That's so funny. That's actually so good.
Now, I'm not entirely sure who made this concept. I don't know who came up with this one first, but there's been a lot of them about recently. Cypher PK recently released a video where he did a trivia thing, and obviously death runs from the likes of Scissors and that have been very popular for a while. As I mentioned before, we had like the D-Day, LTM, the Downtown Jam, Search and Destroy is coming soon, Prop Hunt. Like, there's so much creative stuff going on in Fortnite, whether it's from the creative mode itself or whether it's people coming up with new stuff to do in custom matches. And I think that is definitely what is going to keep Fortnite around long term, because even when there's not as much content being released by Epic, there's always something to do in terms of creating something yourself and keeping the game going. Because as I mentioned before, there's just nothing like it. Minecraft is kind of like it. It's like a cross between like a shooter, like an Overwatch, a Call of Duty, something like that, and Minecraft. It really is a unique game. And I think that is one of the reasons why it's not going to die. I don't think anything can just take it over. I don't think anything can just come in, swoop in, and just destroy it. Games like Apex Legends have had a good crack at it, and they failed, and I think many other games are going to in the future as well. I think Fortnite has definitely got probably 4 or 5 years left before it really does start to dip, unless something really turns it around and it becomes a long-term game like a League of Legends or a CSGO. Right, there we go. That is my opinions on why Fortnite is not dead and why it is not dying anytime soon. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one today. If you did, be sure to drop a like on the video. Also subscribe and notifications on. I also want to apologize. I've got a cold currently, so hopefully my voice held up well. Hopefully everything still came across fine in the video. And on that note, that is the end of the video. So we hope you guys have an amazing day, and we'll see you guys in the next one.